Hi, welcome to Invictus Porsche. We've got this 911 and this isn't just any 911. In the UK there were only 164 actually supplied to the UK market, because this is the 997.2 Targa 4S and they're quite rare. One of the reasons being that they were produced during the global recession between 2009, 2008 to 2011, and really people didn't have disposable income or the money to go out there and splash close to £100,000 on one of these, which is why it makes this generation of the Porsche 911 very, very rare, especially this iteration of it even more. The name Targa comes from the Targa Florio race, and in the state of California in the late 60s and 70s, they wanted to kind of ban, and they banned cabriolets for a while. And one of the reasons being is that when you would crash in a cabriolet or would flip over, there wasn't any sort of safety mechanism to protect its passengers. So Porsche, not wanting to kind of be banned out of that market, with the Targas had this back end whereby this would be glass and you had like a B pillar and a pillar here, and then this section of it was all sort of like a fabric roof, and that's how they kind of worked around that law. From the early 90s until 2011, 2012, you had these glass roofs. So this whole section that you can see right here was all made out of glass. And as a matter of fact, this whole car, the whole top of it, starting from here to the bottom of that windscreen, is really glass. Even here, it's maybe plastic, but it's got this glass sheen to it, this glass effect to it. And really, the Targa is as good as a convertible, as well as it being an almost coupe, and that's the beauty of the glass roof Targa. This being the Targa 4S, you've got the wider back end with this strip, this brake light strip at the back with LED daytime running lights. The 997.2 Targa also has the benefit of this rear glass panel actually opening up. So when the roof is closed, you can open this up as well via a button, and you can fold the seats and put like some golf clubs or groceries there at the back as well. And other than this, I've got a lot more to tell you, but the best way to kind of describe to you this car, show you around this car and what it's really about, is to actually take you out for a test drive. Getting into the driver's seat of any Porsche 911 is an exhilarating experience, but there's nothing that really comes comparatively close to the overall experience and the look and feel that you get with the Targa. The 997 Targa 4S, in everything that it offers, perhaps is the best combination, in my opinion, in terms of what you would want from a 911, and overall what it kind of sort of gives you from an everyday lifestyle point of view. They are a very comfortable GT car, but can also do this. And this right now, not even having the engine roar. It's simply just scratching the surface with what it can possibly do. The 997.1 generation ran from 2005 to 2008, and there were examples of the .1 even found as late as sort of 2009. But really in 2008, they started to introduce the second generation of the 997. And in terms of that iteration of the 911, they ran from 2004 to 2012. Ultimately, having a Porsche, you know, produce 911, this generation of it is really the last of the 911s by Porsche. And anything after this was actually produced under the VAG umbrella group. So they just became a bit longer and wider. And the purist would argue that it's lost some of its purest touches, like having the hydraulic steering wheel. You've got proper old school dampening. It's a nimbler, smaller car. You know, it might only be by a couple of inches in terms of the width and the length, but ultimately it makes a difference to the people that live, breathe, and share the overall experience of what Porsches sort of give to us. In terms of rarity, just an amazing sound. In terms of rarity, the Targa 4S, the 997.2 Targa 4S, there were only 164 really supplied to the UK market. This generation of the 911s were introduced to the global market when the global recession basically happened between 2008 and, you know, that kind of knock-on effect of the recession continued up until I'd say 2011, 2012. So not many people had actually the extra capital or the disposable income to go out there and to buy one of these. Hence the reason for why they've held values, especially the Targa 4Ss, the way they have. And there are not many about, if any, at all. Currently, this is priced at £42,000 with 73,000 miles, and really, this is superb value for money. And I will be talking about the specification in a minute, but just the overall kind of a package that you get with this. You've got the likes of the Chrono Sport Plus package, Sport Plus button, the PSM, the Sports exhaust, the heated seats. Also, these are the Sport Seats Plus. You know, they're like the proper upholstery that you find here on the side. Porsche crest on the headrest, cruise control, the hardback Sport Seats Plus, and you know, even this central console area here is finished in the Carrera white color that's on the outside, complemented with the 19-inch 911 Turbo Edition 2 alloys. So really, if you want an experience in a 911 and you want it to be the best spec possible, I don't think it gets better than this. And then of course you've got the Bose sound system, but what really makes a car like this unique is the Targa 4S. You can actually open that that rear lid, that glass lid, and you can actually just fold the seats and put your golf clubs in there, or just groceries or whatever it may be. But this section of the roof completely opens, this glass section, and I'll just open it up. And there's no difference between sitting in this Targa or in a 911 convertible, especially when it's summer. It allows in so much sunlight and completely kind of changes your experience of driving one of these. And this generation of the 911, well, the Targas with a glass roof, Porsche introduced them in the 993 generation, you know, starting in the sort of early 90s, and it continued up until 2012, and then sort of from 2014 onwards they reverted back to that fabric roof that was here in the middle. And then obviously before the 90s, in the 911s before then, all had that fabric roof here, and that's how, and the glass roof at the back. This has at the back behind the rear axle the 3.8 litre naturally aspirated flat 6 boxer engine, and in this produces 385 brake horsepower, 415 newton meters of torque. The 0 to 62 miles per hour is possible in 4.5 seconds, and the top speed is 183 miles an hour. And then of course, this having the direct fuel injection engine, they kind of become very, very reliable as an engine. And you might lose that rawness that you might find in the Generation 1, but at least you don't have the scare factor of buying a Gen 1 and having the engine blow up on you, whereas on the 997.2 with the DFI engine, it completely eliminates the IMS and the bore scoring issues. What I'd like to do now is to actually press the sports button, switch on sports exhaust. I'm doing the kind of speeds that I shouldn't really be talking about, but the way this goes, it just wants to fly, and in no way, form or shape this circa 40 kilogram glass roof compromises the handling around corners. But a 911 like this, you know, being a Targa 4S, is mostly driven by the slightly older crowd of people that cherishes them, that maintains them, that looks after them, and they kind of buy one of these. One, because they hold values very well, but B, because overall they're just going to be one of those cars that they will probably take out on the weekend and just have it as part and parcel of, you know, some significant achievement that they've reached in life, or a way of rewarding themselves after a lifetime of hard work. In terms of the spec, this has this gorgeous Carrara white exterior, complemented with the 19-inch turbo edition 2 alloys with the daytime running LED lights and the bi-xenon lights there as well. This being the Targa 4S, it really had a premium to it in itself. And what continues to make a car like this incredibly rare is the overall spec of this. I mean, you've got the multifunctional steering wheel, which was an optional with a PDK bezel, cruise control, the Sport Seats Plus with Porsche crest, sports exhaust button, the active suspension management system, the Porsche active, the PASM button, and then you've got the Chrono Sport Plus package with a Sport Plus button there. This has got the 7-speed PDK transmission, an amazing engine, an amazing transmission, complemented with the 3.8 litre naturally aspirated 3.8 litre sort of DFI engine. You've also got this whole of the central console bay, which is also finished to bring the outside into the interior of the vehicle in the Carrara white. Spec wise, this hasn't got anything missing. Anything you can imagine has all been thrown at it, including the premium sound system, the Bose sound system. And at the back, as synonymous with Porsches, you've got this gorgeous 2+2 layout. And I will open up that rear boot lid just to kind of show you the 3.8 litre direct fuel injection engine. And this is the last of the 911s, where you can actually see the engine at the back. And now what I want to do is to start it up and just to illustrate to you how this Targa roof works. The Targa roof is this aspect of it here. And if I was to press a button in here, that roof works incredibly well. And on a lot of these Targas, unfortunately, what you get is these electric motors at the back that operates this roof. Those motors can go off, and on this they work absolutely spot on. Plus, it's been reconditioned, the roofing mechanism. And then you've obviously, this being all glass, on a hot day it can get quite hot, so you've got a blind that also you can close it up or you can open it. Now what I'd like to show you next is this glass panel here that just opens up and gives you a completely new dimension to the back of the car. And this is all I've got to actually share with you on the Targa roof. A car like this is really a once in a lifetime thing for many of us, and we hardly ever get these cars in at the dealership anymore. And when people ask us to source something like this, it's absolutely impossible. There's no way of sourcing something like this. And now let me actually just take you through the next phase of this video, which is to show you the paperwork. Now, in terms of paperwork, this has a very good service history. Out of the 6 services that it's had, 3 of them has been at Porsche main dealer. And if I may just go through this. First time the vehicle was registered in 2010, so the first service is due in 20,000 or 2 years. That was done at 7,820 miles at Porsche Central Leeds. The second one in 2014, so it's every 2 years or 20,000 miles at 25,475 miles. And then the third one was done by Porsche Critford, they're a specialist, and that was done in 2016. Then in 2018, and then by RSJ in 2020 at 63,000 miles, and then in 2022, in June 2022, at 70,000 miles, it was serviced by Porsche Center Colchester. And this was basically a major service that included, these are all the big items of work. We're talking about spark plugs, drive belt, the PDK filter, and the PDK fluid chain, as well as the transmission oil replaced. And then it's had a major service on top of that as well, which is all the filters and the oil replaced as well. And here's the breakdown of it in things like oil filter, transmission oil, the air filter, the tire sealant, the spark plugs being replaced, the tension elements, the tensioner pulley. So this is the driver belt being replaced. Some other smaller items of work being done as well, including heat shields being replaced. And to continue, all of this total 2,848 pounds. It's just had a front film applied. And these were all the advisories. And within that 2,800 pounds, all these advisories were done. Rear bumper attachments being corroded, heat shields, requires new driver belt. The discs showing a bit of corrosion. All the tires are in incredibly good condition. You can see 5.8 mil, 5.3 mil, 5.3 from the Sentra, 6.6 mil, 6 mil, 6 mil. And then this is the visual health check, the checklist, all of it here as well. And in terms of the number of owners, 5 former keepers. And there's some more Porsche invoices at the bottom as well. And that's basically a very comprehensive service history. And that last service, incorporating practically everything you can imagine. It's rare for a car this age to actually go into Porsche rather than to a specialist. But then for somebody to go out there and spend all that money on it shows how much they care about their car. And this is one of those cars that's definitely been cared for, definitely been loved. The cameraman sat with me whilst we were returning back from the driving part of the video, and he said, God, this drives amazing. There's no squeaks or noises anyway coming from the whole chassis. We're talking about the suspension and the whole build of it. I hope if you are looking for a 911 Targa 4S, there's not many about, but you know, if there's one or two to choose between and you want something that will retain its value, something that's going to put a smile on your face, this 911 is the car. So thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe. We earn out of YouTube that money we donate to charity. So thanks once again. See you next time. Bye-bye.